How's it going, guys? I'm Cameron Phillips, one of the trainers and founders here at STR8 Performance. A little bit of background information on myself. I graduated at Azusa Pacific in 2015. While I was pursuing my degree, I was also a personal trainer. I was a kids fitness trainer, and that kind of got me started in my journey towards performance training with athletes. Growing up, I played sports all my life. I played basketball through college, and I was always the go-to guy for my teammates to come see how to get faster, how to jump higher, how to work on this, how to work on that. So I always knew in the back of my head that it was maybe something I was good at, but it wasn't until college where I started pursuing it. Had knee injuries through high school, through college, and I was just always in the training room. I was always in physical therapy, so I gained a lot of knowledge through that. I started off wanting to be a physical therapist. A couple routes changed, and then I really just had a passion for working with athletes and trying to get them to the point where they can avoid some of the pitfalls that I fell into, which was not knowing how to properly recover, not knowing how to properly return to sport. Through that, I worked with a ton of athletes recovering from injuries. I worked on myself a lot, and I gained a lot of knowledge through training with that. So just a mindset of not wanting athletes to endure a lot of injuries so that they can create longevity in their career was the things that fueled my passion the most. I worked at a few different performance companies. CATS Performance was the place that I got my start from my actual business partner now, Ashton Roberts. He actually hired me to begin my first job as a performance trainer. Working with him from the start till now, where we have this business together, has been amazing for me. I gained a lot of knowledge, and we got to a point where we could create something special, and now we want to bring it to you guys.
What's up, guys? Ashton Roberts. I'm one of the trainers and founders of STR8 Performance. My journey started about 15 years ago as a camp counselor, and that's what led me to where I am today. 15 years ago, I was a camp counselor for a small program on the campus of USC for 7, 8, 9-year-olds. In that moment in time, I knew that sports performance would eventually be my career path. Training kids growing up was always a passion for me. Always giving back to the community was always a passion. Educating kids outside of sports, that was a huge plus for me in my journey growing up. Playing sports for me was always something that I enjoyed. Then as I got older, I started to train myself. Through high school, I started training myself outside of basketball practice, outside of my team, and then I had a lot of my teammates follow along as they saw me getting better, stronger, faster. That continued for me through college. Earned a basketball scholarship at Azusa Pacific University, where I also trained the basketball team there. I had a unique opportunity my junior year to train our basketball team as well as play on our basketball team. And that year, we went to the national championship game. That unique opportunity after college propelled my sports performance career. I started training athletes from Azusa Pacific University as well as athletes that were in our conference. After that, I started applying for different sports performance companies. I landed a job in the Pasadena area at CATS Sports Performance, and CATS really elevated my sports performance training as well as my business mind. They gave me a unique opportunity to not only be their top sports performance coach, but I was also their general manager for several years. I got insight on being not only a top trainer, but also learning the business behind the scenes, the numbers of everything, marketing, things like that. Those things have now propelled me to start my own career. I'm excited to start my venture off at STR8 Performance. I've made a name for myself in the Pasadena area and the surrounding areas. I've trained everything from golfers to volleyball players, tennis players, basketball players, you name it, I've trained it. And it's not just about the sport, it's about the athlete and where they're trying to get to. So my experience comes from not only the kids camp, but from being a wellness manager to training teams, training high-level athletes. I'm excited to get this venture started, and I'm excited for you to be a part of it.
Funny story on how we got started. So this goes back to my last year at college. I was looking to walk on out of school in the SoCal area. So I'm scanning online and I'm looking at different teams, and I see a school, Azusa Pacific. I wasn't very familiar with it. So if you've been an athlete trying to walk on to a school, first thing you do is check the roster. You're comparing yourself, you're trying to see how these players match up to your style, your size, all of those things. So I see a guard who's similar in my height, so I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can probably go here. So I apply, I get in, I talk to some coaches. He happened to be graduated already, so I was looking at an old roster. Didn't know that at the time. Fast forward to my first interview, I walk in the door and it's this guy's face again.
Hey guys, always here.
Again, didn't connect the dots until we started talking, and he told me a little bit about his background, and I kind of put the pieces together. After the interview, all along, I was gunning for this guy's position. I knew he couldn't guard me before I even knew him, so I was trying to attack him. And that's kind of how our first initial meeting went. Since then, we collabed together instantly. We had a connection. I was asking him about jump programs, things that I was looking to do and create in the area, and we kind of just bounced ideas back and forth. We worked for each other real closely for 5 years. 3 years in the making, we had been kind of talking about venturing out together and creating something special for the area.
Cam said it's slightly true. He's definitely a great guy. I hired him 5 years ago at Cat Sports Performance. That's where both of our journeys started. As I told you guys in the intro, my journey started there first, building up a program for high-level athletes, for youth athletes. After that, I started to venture out to try to find people who can do the same exact thing. So I started an internship program where I selectively had candidates come in and interview. Cam struck me first. One of the first people to apply, not only apply, but call, not only call, but email. And then not only email, but then come in and be like, I'm ready for the position. And you weren't even hired yet, sir. That was the ambition he showed from the jump. And that's what I appreciated about him. First, I knew after that 6-month internship, I knew I wanted that guy to be on my team, not only be on my team, but also sharing this journey that I was trying to create with Straight Performance. Unfortunately, there was a mix-up at Cat Sports Performance where I had to venture out. But that venture out left Cam to grow, and then also made me grow as a wellness manager, the behind-the-scenes work that's needed to keep the business running. With that, I also trained at a high level. I also created golf-specific programs and things I never thought I could train or do within a space. Cam and I have been working hard, as he said, for the last 3 years on this venture, and we're excited to bring it to you.
As he mentioned, he left me, so I was kind of stuck in a position where I had to grow. I went and worked with STR8 Performance, where I got the opportunity to work with high level all the way up to NBA athletes on their pre-draft combine, getting them ready for in-season stuff, as well as their off-season training. Through that experience and phase, I really got to expand my training. My training jumped to a high level where I learned the ins and outs of how to create explosive athletes, how to work on vertical, how to work on speed, all these things that every athlete wants. We fortunately got the chance to come back together after this stint apart and create this special opportunity that we're excited to bring.
So all this collaboration has brought us to Straight Performance. Straight, the 8 has a unique meaning. We both have 8 things that we've collaborated on and feel are unique to each athlete, and each athlete should bring to the table when training and getting prepared for their sport. 1, injury prevention from our standpoint as a trainer. 2, speed, power, explosiveness. Those are kind of our extrinsic things that we can definitely affect an athlete when they walk through the door. Intrinsically, we talk about ambition, work ethic, impact, and determination. Those are more intrinsic things that we're trying to instill in the athlete when they walk through the door. So those are our 8 pillars for Straight Performance. We know most athletes come in with a mindset of we have so much on their plates, from school to the practices they have and the extracurriculars they do on top of practice. But ambition is what we want to instill in them. Not only is that going to be in real life, from your family to kids to handling your job, but if you continue within your sport, it's going to be the same exact thing. So when you come into Straight Performance, we're going to instill those intrinsic factors in you, and hopefully they manifest throughout the rest of your life. So that's a little bit about us and how we got started. We're really excited for you guys to check us out at Straight Performance. Cam is going to take you out with the exit. Drum roll, please. Give it up to Cam.
Come check us out. You can find us here at Athlete Central in Pasadena, California. Check out our social media as well. That's at Train Straight Performance. Don't forget that 8. We'll be posting a lot of content for athletes, for parents, for coaches. Also come in and get a session with us. Our email is at trainstraightperformance@gmail.com. And yeah, here we go. Come see us. Let's do it.